About 6 months since the Galaxy Fold was first announced, we now have the Galaxy Z Flip. This device is actually a really completely different type of form factor compared to the Fold, and even the user experience has changed a lot. But with it comes a lot of improvements over the Galaxy Fold in terms of its technological advances. And today we're going to talk about my user experience with the Galaxy Z Flip after using it for about a week. When it comes to the form factor itself, well, the Galaxy Z Flip is actually very nostalgic. I would say all of us know about flip phones, and this is indeed a flip phone. And we've already know what it does, it just flips open like this. But then again, the funny thing is that this is technically just the usual smartphone that we have. It's just being able to fold it in half, and that's the main appeal of the Galaxy Z Flip. And I think we'll talk about the hinge first, because I think the hinge is the most improved compared to the Galaxy Fold, because now the hinge can lock itself at certain angles. Like for example, I can go all the way down to about 30 degrees ish and it will still lock itself down. However, you can open all the way up to about 100 and I'm not sure what's this, 150-ish before it starts to open all the way, and within this angle you can lock it into whatever angle you want. And this new hinge design actually introduces a lot of practical use cases. For example, what Samsung themselves has said is that you can put your phone on the table like this and then proceed with your con call or just a typical video chat. But for me particularly, I am going to use this to take a lot of pictures, because essentially when you put it up like this, it becomes a tripod that can stand on its own. And we will have a separate video talking about that, and I will link it at the top right corner there whenever that's published. However, because of the self-locking hinge, it makes it kind of difficult for you to flip it close, and you have to do this. And there's still a satisfying click when you close the whole device. It just don't have that same feeling where you can smack it up easily. Yeah, that's gone. Once we close the device, then the 1.1 inch Super AMOLED display on the cover itself will light up. And I'm sorry, but the Motorola Razr did it better, because the Motorola Razr took advantage of this big empty space and put a display right there. For Samsung, the Galaxy Z Flip has this tiny display, which I think it's kind of defeat the purpose of having an auxiliary display, because I will have to wait for the notification to scroll by and I cannot glance at information fast and quick. So maybe that's something to improve on the next version of the Galaxy Z Flip. Samsung also implemented a feature where you can double tap the power button and then take your picture with the beautiful rear facing camera, I suppose. However, the cover display doesn't show the viewfinder exactly, so you will have to guess where the picture will appear. And for example, when I take a picture like this, you can see that my head is actually in the frame, but the view display here does not show it. But when we unflip the device, we can see that the Galaxy Z Flip has a 21.9 by 9 aspect ratio, and this display is much longer than my ultra-wide monitor that I'm using at the back right here. And this is a dynamic AMOLED display. It's only 60Hz, but that's okay. And the best improvement Samsung has done to the display is by including a layer of glass underneath it. And yes, there's glass, as proven by Jerry Rig Everything, who initially said there's no glass. So yeah, he did check his facts. By having a layer of glass, there are a lot of improvements that come with the user experience. So for example, when I touch the display right now, I can feel that it's a lot flatter than the Galaxy Fold, which does not have that layer of glass. And one way to determine if there's a layer of glass is by looking at the reflections when the display is turned off. So when you look at it at an off angle, the Galaxy Fold has a lot of wavy reflections, but on the Galaxy Z Flip you can see that the reflections are very minimal. So that is a telltale sign of having a flatter display compared to the Galaxy Fold. And let's not forget about the crease. Yes, the crease. So for the Galaxy Z Flip, the crease is running horizontally at the center of the display right here. And I think that's kind of okay, because once again, this is a very long display. For me personally, I only use the bottom half of the screen most of the time. But when I do need to scroll across the top and the bottom half, then yes, you can feel the crease. But I do feel that the layer of glass did minimize the crease depth, I guess. And one more thing is that when you play games, most of the games are actually split into two halves, so you wouldn't swipe across it anyway, like PUBG Mobile for example. And the crease can still be seen if you're looking at it at an off angle like this. However, for the user itself, when you look at it straight like this, then the crease just virtually disappears until you swipe across it, of course. And now the crease also serves as a divider when you're using it in this mode, so you can have the bottom half opening one app and the top half opening another app. However, I do realize that some apps like Facebook Messenger does not work in half-half view, so yeah, the app support is still an issue, which I think will be fixed down the line. In terms of the design of the Galaxy Z Flip, I do have an issue in terms of ergonomics. So yeah, you can see here, the side-mounted fingerprint scanner and the volume rockers are placed on the top half at the right side of the phone right here. However, I do wish that Samsung would move the volume rocker onto the bottom left side and the power button with the fingerprint scanner to the bottom right side, so I can take screenshots easier, and when I flip and unflip the device, the buttons are still consistently placed at the bottom half. As of now, when it is flipped closed, the buttons are at a very ergonomic position. However, when you unflip it, then the buttons move all the way to the top, which I think it's just not ergonomic to be used with one hand. And the cameras. The Galaxy Z Flip does come with two cameras at the rear here. One of them is the main camera and then another one is the ultra wide angle camera. Both of these can take very beautiful images. However, since we cannot go out and take nicer shots because of the whole movement restricted order thing, here are some pictures that I took indoors instead. As for the list of specs of the Galaxy Z Flip, here they are. It is still going to perform really well in today's smartphone world. And overall, I'm just gonna leave you a bunch of benchmarks here because I'm just a completionist that way. That battery life though, it is using a 3300 mAh battery, which is the same as the Xiaomi Mi 9, and overall it can last you throughout the day, but you have to be a bit thrifty in terms of usage. If not, then you have to carry out a power bank. And in terms of charging speed, well, the Galaxy Z Flip can only support up to 15 watts of power. And with that said, it takes about 100 minutes to charge from 15% all the way to 100%, which I think is just kind of average, and I think Samsung should include a 25 watt charger capability for the Galaxy Z Flip. And for 5,888 ringgit, I think Samsung is on to something better right here. There are a lot of improvements over the Galaxy Fold. However, there are still some issues with the ergonomics and whatnot. And I think overall the Galaxy Z Flip is considered a generation 1.5 when it comes to foldable devices by Samsung. And overall, I think this device is very eye-catching because when I use it for about a week, both my mom, my sister and also my brother are very interested in this device. They instantly want to take pictures and videos showing how this device works and just how surreal it is to be able to fold a typical smartphone in half. And with such a small form factor, I think a lot of people will like it because you can just stuff it in your pants without just modifying your pocket depth, which is great. And that is all we have to say about the Galaxy Z Flip. This is a very magnificent device, and we'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions, do leave them down in the comment section below. We will try to answer them whenever we can. And stay safe, stay at home. We'll see you next time.